Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Ignore the white noise in the background. That's my humidifier. Yep, that's what it is. So today I wanted to give you my full spoilers review of Onyx Storm. Yes, there will be spoilers. This is my full review. For those of you who haven't read it and you clicked on this video, first of all, why? The spoilers is literally up somewhere or in the title. And second of all, if you just want to know what I thought about it, it was a time. It was interesting. It was kind of entertaining, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So if you haven't read it and you're watching this, please leave. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I really hate that. And so please just leave. If you have read it, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I got the deluxe edition from Amazon. Yeah, so it could be delivered straight to me. I didn't get it till a day after it was released. It got delivered, but I had to deal with the mailroom and it just didn't work out. So my least favorite thing about this book is I read it without the dust jacket. That's why it's still so pristine, but I don't know if you can hear it. No, it's not doing it right now. It cracked, the spine cracked. You can hear it a little bit. The entire time, like nothing I could do would stop it. The benefit of that was that it laid flat like this while I was reading it, which nice. But like also it kept cracking and making really loud cracking sounds, and that was weird. Back to it. Now we're getting into the actual review of Onyx Storm. First of all, I feel like we have to preface this. Fourth Wing was a 5-star read for me. I enjoyed it. Iron Flame, first half 5 stars, second half 2 stars. I did not like the second half of Iron Flame. It was like a completely different book. I didn't think the writing was all that great. The plot had so many holes. It introduced a new magic system. It was just, I didn't really like it. It was weird. And then the ending, you know, Satan turned into a venom. This is a spoiler video. So now, Onyx Storm. Yes, I have not been awaiting this book with as much anticipation as I think a lot of other people have. I've been awaiting it with what I would say is more trepidation, I think is the word. Trepidation? I don't really know how to say it, but that's the word. Like anxiety. And I had hope, a little bit of hope, but mostly no hope, because I just thought it would be like the second half of Iron Flame, because she wrote it so fast. I think she had to write this in like 10 months. Anyway, okay, for real now, we're actually going to get into things about this book. For real. So, it starts, we're back at the freaking school. I am so sick of the school. I don't want to go to class anymore. I don't want to learn. Like, I get that you have to learn things, but you're in the middle of a freaking war. Like, I don't want to learn these things. Like, I don't want to go to another battle brief. I'm so sick of them. So, and that was that. We were back at school. We now have General Dane's father, because I'm not saying their last name. A something or other. General Dane's father was like, yo, I'm about to make your life a living hell. And she was like, haha, great. Fuck you. And he was like, oh, so you're going to do that? You're going to this outpost where you might get killed. Spoiler warning, they survived. Like, nobody died in this book. It was so annoying. I wanted somebody to die so bad. It would have, well, one person did die. Like, a couple people died. But they were, like, inconsequential. The one, I don't even remember his name. He died in the middle somewhere. And then Quinn died at the very end. Imogen's, like, best friend. And that was sad for her, but, like, nobody important died. Mira almost died, but then, like, miraculously got saved. Like, come on. Somebody has to die. Not everybody can live. Like, the only person that anybody's been upset about dying is Liam. And at that point, I wasn't even upset about that because we had only known him a book. And, like, he was just kind of there. I didn't really feel for Liam, but I know that a lot of people did. So, like, that was an impactful death. Nobody else has died since then. Yeah, Zayden turned freaking venom. So what? And at the end, actually, we'll go kind of chronologically. So that was Zayden turned venom and Iron Flame. So we're still kind of chronological. This is more of a rant, I'm realizing, than a review. But the review is in there, so let me know if you want like a more... Actually, no. No, don't let me know, because this is all you get from me. This is kind of how I am, and I'm not putting together a put-together review. That's just not something I'm doing. So this is what you get. Anyway, this book, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I had a fun time. We started where I already told you that we started. And then it's like this whole book is about going to find Adarna's kind, which we learn are called the Iridis, I think, because it comes from iridescent. So Iridis, maybe? I don't even know. And so like you get some good black dragon lines. I hate the names in this book. I just don't like names in fantasy books in general because I can't pronounce them. But anyway, you get some good like Tarn, whatever, however you pronounce it, however it's supposed to be pronounced. I'm sorry, I don't know it and I can't do it then. So that's you get some good lines from him. He's my favorite character by far. He's so funny. He's so funny. He makes me giggle. I'm like, oh my god, Tarn, this is great. I need to reread the first one, but I have no way. Nobody could even pay me to reread the second one. Not right now anyway. Maybe before the fourth book comes out, but if I decide to continue. I am undecided as of right now. But anyway, so they're on this whole long ass journey for like 3 weeks. They're all about like, oh, we're defying command to go on this journey. We only have 5 months. Because they were supposed to fly back and forth. Freaking Halden, nearly gets himself killed. They save him. Okay, they're back. They go back on this other journey. The same journey. They were just like securing, I don't know my answer. I don't even know, but they go back to the exact same island on another journey, and they're like in the same region, I suppose. Hold on, let's see. No, the freaking islands aren't on this map. Right, so like here's the map. The islands aren't here. I don't know where the islands supposedly are. They're not on the map. They're like searching for these dragons. They go to this one island where they find Xaden's mom. That was a plot twist. I was like, wow, I never expected to see that lady. And so then her husband tries to kill them, and Garrick eats the poison food and like almost dies. But then Violet already poisoned them and like threatens their children, who are Xaden's half brothers, and they get out of it just fine, per usual. But then they go to another island where they're like given a gift, and the gift is like you accept it without reaction and you like say thank you no matter what. And one of the people gets shot through the heart, and Violet has to be like, thank you. Like that was my understanding of it. Then we get back from this journey. This journey probably took about this much of the book, I would say. Maybe a little more, a little less. I'm not really sure. Anyway, they get back. They go back to school. We already know my feelings on school. I'm so done with it. Please let there be no school in the second book. I can't go back to another freaking battle brief. I can't. I'm so sick of just going back to school. Like, you're in the middle of a freaking war and you're going back to school. Like, you're literally one of the leaders of this war, Violet, and nobody's like, you led a freaking rebellion and now you're back at... Anyway, yeah, I'm done with school. We need to stop going back to school. But anyway, we get past the whole adventuring. They do find Adarna's breed, but then they're like, human, you failed her. She's a feathertail. You let her fly. You let her bond. Like, this is so freaking dumb. Like, blah, 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 blah. You failed her, and like, we reject her because we're a peace-loving people, and you're using her for war. Like, what? Anyway, like, what did you think would happen when you left her behind? After that, they return home. They all get like no punishments because the king's second son, who's actually Aoric, went, and he was like, oh yeah, so great. Like, the king was so happy to have him back that he said nobody could be punished, and General Dane's father was really unhappy about that. And then they go to like, they're back in school for a little while. I don't even know if anything important happened while they were in school. I don't think it did. But then they go from school back to... I, in my head, call it Eritrea. I don't think that's it. It's, Eretia, something like that. Yeah, they go there with their little dragons because they do, like, their rotation to there. And, like, Xaden's there, and they, you know, what Violet and Xaden do all the time, make lightning. It drives me nuts, too, because, like, Mans is literally, like, full venom at this point. Not really, but, like... And he's like, oh yes, if I touch you, it'll make it worse. And then like they proceed to make lightning. And so, yeah, that all happens. And then there's like, oh no, we're under attack. And this, at this point, the underarching thing of the whole story was that no, not General. I don't know where the General came from. Evil Lightning Lady has been like wanting Violet to go with her. Her name starts with a T, has a PH in it. I don't know her name. She's just Lightning Lady. So, sorry. But she's like, oh yeah, like, haha, I'm going to attack and it will all stop if you come with me, Violet. And Violet's like, fuck no. And then one of Adarna's kind, his name is Leo something, shows up and is like, Adarna, you can come with me. You're magic. You made the bond to Violet yourself. And like, you could just come with me and I will sever it. And Adarna is like, yeah, okay. Like, sad, but yeah, okay. I want to learn about my people. So then she leaves. And then Violet's like really depressed. And then Mira shows up and then blah, 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 blah. A bunch of stuff happens. Some city that starts with a D was under attack. And so they were like, guys, like, we gotta go save it, especially because Evil Lightning Lady kidnapped Mira and Mira's dragon and was gonna kill her, even though she tried anyway, and Brennan saved her. But, yeah, so they're like, okay, we're gonna go stop Evil Lightning Lady. Evil Lightning Lady's like, haha, this is a trap. And Violet's like, yeah, I know, Evil Lightning Lady. And so then they show up and like Evil Lightning Lady slits Mira's throat, and then Brennan saves him, and like, what's her face? Sloane takes some of Dane's power and gives it to Brennan so Brennan can like fully save Mira and Mira doesn't die. And then Violet's like, all right, Evil Lightning Lady, it's going down. And Evil Lightning Lady like, you betcha. After Evil Lightning Lady was like, you betcha, Violet was like, all right, Tarn, whatever, you gotta get Mira's dragon out of here so like Mira can live, like this, because the dragon wasn't changed. And so then you take, he flies away and Violet's like, okay, I gotta distract Evil Lightning Lady till he comes back. And then like Evil Lightning Lady almost kills her, and Sigale, Zayden's dragon, scoops her up and like deposits her on top of Tara and like just like chucks her in the air, because we know that Sigale's not really a fan of her. And then they're like fighting Evil Lightning Lady and it didn't work out well for them. So then they're like chasing Evil Lightning Lady somewhere, and Evil Lightning Lady like corners them. She traps Tarn in a net. Sigale gets trapped too. So does Zayden, but Zayden gets trapped by the guy in his dreams, which Violet's been having these dreams, but we learned that Violet's a dream walker, so they're actually Zayden's dreams, which is like kind of cool. And I did guess that from the end of Iron Flame, because she did start having these dreams then, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, these dreams were happening in Iron Flame. But I did not reread Iron Flame, so honestly, I don't know. Let me know if they were. She was a dream walker, yada, yada, yada. That came from Adarna. Adarna leaves. She still has this power because she walks in Zayden's dreams. Don't really know how that works. And then we get a chapter from Rhiannon's point of view where like she's like, we must defend this thingy, and they do. Then we get a chapter from Violet's point of view where she's like, Lightning Lady, we're coming for you. And they realize that Lightning Lady is actually Evil Storm Lady, but Lightning Lady's just better. And so then she's like, Evil Lightning Lady, I'm coming for you. But then her and Taryn get captured in a net. And then we get a point from chapter from Imogen's point of view where Quinn dies, and it was like kind of sad because like Imogen was very emotional over this because it's her best friend, and Quinn's like, I need you to tell Jax that I love her, and whatever. All that happens. We go back to Violet's point of view. She's like, Evil Lightning Lady, like her little whatever, I picture it as like a crystal ball that lets her wield the lightning more controlled, breaks, and we learned that Aoric is a prophet, like basically he's like just can see things in the future, like he can see prophecies. I don't know what exactly they called it, but like he can see the future like entirely, not just like freaking general what's M guy who's like, oh yeah, I can only see the outcomes of battles. So he's like truly can see everything about the future, and so he gives Violet this like chunk of stone from a temple from like to kill Evil Lightning Lady, because Evil Lightning Lady was part of this temple, but then like turned her back on the goddess and went venom, and the goddess doesn't like that. So if you touch the stone or something happens, then you die. And so Violet kills evil lightning lady with this stone. But then Xaden, in all his Xaden idiocy, like steals the power from the ground and then uses it to send his shadows everywhere and win the little battle skirmish. It wasn't really a war, like you're in the middle of a war, so it wasn't really a war, but he wins the battle for them. But in doing so, turns himself 100% venom. And so then we go back to, that was in his point of view, we learn about that. And then we go back to Violet's point of view, last chapter of the book. Violet shows up and Brennan's like, where were you? It's been 12 hours. And she's like, I don't know, my brain feels funny. And then Adarna's like, oh, like, Taryn needs to rest. And she's like, from what? And Adarna's like, and then we learned that Imogen wiped Violet's mind because Violet asked her to, and that Violet is now married to Xaden. And Xaden says, don't look for me. Where is it? It's yours now, don't look for me, or something like that. Yeah, don't look for me, it's yours now. Close enough. And that's where the book ends. That was a brief summary. No, that was not that was a long and dragged out summary. Like I said, entertaining. The dialogue, Rebecca Yarros writes phenomenal dialogue. I like the dialogue in these books a lot. It's funny, it's witty, it's like sarcastic in the best ways. It's good. The plot in this book I was bored. And that was sad because the writing in this book was so much better than the second half of Iron Flame. It just was. It was much more cohesive than Iron Flame. And so I was just bored, and I was kind of disappointed in it, just in the sense that most of the book was spent traveling around and journeying and like going to class and not really doing anything, rather than like having skirmishes or like trying to get this weapon that you need to, or like, because like off and on throughout the whole book, like a cure was mentioned, but then there was like nothing really done to like find this cure. Like they were trying, but like all they got told was that there is none. And so it was just kind of frustrating in that sense, where like nothing was happening, but I was just reading so many pages of nothing happening. And so I was bored. I do have one theory for the next book. In Xaden's one and only chapter in this book, he goes, where is it? I glanced past what so to my new brother and the unconscious dragon lying in the valley beyond the canyon, guarded by 7 wyvern. How could he do this? Emphasized he. Choose this after watching me stumble and fall over the last 5 months. How could he willingly walk the path I fought like hell to leave? He's the last person I would have ever expected to turn, and yet here we are. So somebody close to him that knows that Xaden was going through and being a Venin turned Venin. I think it's Garrick. That is the only person I can think of that would have done it, because he was really close to burnout when we saw him in Imogen's chapter. And I don't really know how he did it, but I'm pretty sure it's Garrick, or why he did it. But that is my prediction for that specific plot point. I think it's Garrick. I had no plans for this video other than just being like, yeah, it was okay. I was entertained, which it was okay. And I was entertained. I was bored. The dialogue was the only thing that kept me going. I didn't fly through it as fast as I would have liked, or I would normally, just because I was busy this week also, and I was kind of bored. So like a lot of the book, I was like, I don't really want to pick it up again to continue reading, because like they're literally just journeying around. Like nothing was drawing me back in. Like Fourth Wing, great concept. Iron Flame, first half, really good. Second half, confusing. This book was good. The writing was much better than in Iron Flame. It didn't have parts, which I really appreciated. We did not make a random ass pivot in the middle of the book. I really appreciated that. It reminded me a lot of the one in Throne of Glass, where the entire time it's just like Rowan training Aelin. Like kind of boring. But theirs was a little more interesting because they had really good chemistry. Here, the chemistry was just kind of off, because like Xaden the whole time was kind of like no, I can't be with you because I'm a venom. And Violet was like, why? I'll always love you. And he was like, no, it's too dangerous. And she was like, no, it'll be okay. And so it was just a little frustrating because like you didn't have the chemistry that kept, I don't even know, like Air of Fire going, because like they're already a couple, and instead you had more of like a will they won't they situation. Me personally, I don't really like that. It's kind of boring, but for them it like just like really didn't work out because they like he didn't talk to her really for like half the book. And it's not like in Iron Flame where he was just like keeping secrets. He was just like not talking to her because he was like, it's dangerous for me. I need to get to 76 days without drawing from the earth. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. Like they literally make lightning on day 73 and then like 2 days later they get attacked and he like turns full then and he's no longer an quote unquote initiate. And so it's just it was a time. That's like the only way I can describe it. And I feel like the tone of my voice does way better than I can do with words. But I was frustrated through a lot of it because I felt like a lot of things should have been happening that weren't happening, and things that were happening, I was like, this is kind of pointless and this is kind of boring and this probably could have been done faster. This was the book that was going to make me decide whether or not to continue with the series, and I haven't made that decision yet. I probably will continue reading them because I thought this book, it didn't completely make up for the atrocity that Iron Flame was, but it was better than Iron Flame as a whole, because Iron Flame as a whole was kind of bad, like overall, because the first half was good, but the second half was like really quite bad. And Fourth Wing was good, but this one was better than Iron Flame, worse than Fourth Wing, because Fourth Wing had action. It was a new world. You were seeing things. The best thing I can say to you is I was kind of bored. I'm not like super anxious for the next one. Not like I was after reading Fourth Wing. And I didn't feel anxious for the next one after reading Iron Flame. I was more like, it'll be kind of fun and kind of cool to see what happens next, but not like, oh my god, I need to know what happens next. I don't feel like that. I actually feel like I can predict it. I am going to be so upset if they go back to school, but we already know this. Is there anything else I wanted to say about it? I don't think there's much more. Somebody had to die and nobody died. Like, this is book 3 of 5. You gotta kill one person. One. They don't even have to be super important. I don't have any more to say about this that I haven't already said. I was a little frustrated with it. I was a little disappointed in it, just because I know that Rebecca Yarros is capable of writing a book the caliber of Fourth Wing, and I did really enjoy Fourth Wing. But this just felt a little flat. Like I've said, I was bored, to be completely honest. And it wasn't something that I was like, oh my god, I hate to put it down. I have to pick it back up again as soon as possible. Yeah, I hated to put it down, but that's kind of how I am. I hate to put my book down, but it wasn't something where I was like, oh my god, I need to pick it back up. This was literally not a review. It was a summary / rant / review of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I hope if you haven't read it and you were looking for a summary because you don't intend to read it, but you were curious, I hope this video helped you. If you did read it, let me know what you thought about it. We are allowed to disagree, so if you didn't like it, let me know. If you did like it, if you loved it, it was your favorite book that you've read recently, let me know. I want to know why you loved it, why you didn't like it, what made it hard for you to read or easy, or like why, like I'm just curious as to what everybody's thinking, so please let me know in the comments. I would love to know, and I hope you at least got something out of my thoughts and you enjoyed this video. So see you later.